back to the Roots and Rivers studio. I'm Gabriella Jones, and this is the Questions Concerning podcast. Today we have Drew. Say hi to the people, Drew.
What's up, everybody?
So today we're going to be talking about mental health, being a black man in America, being more emotional than what people have prescribed for most men in our society. So I want to start off with kind of your journey, where you started off with mental health. I feel like it's been in recent years that we've all collectively adopted the idea of mental health. So first question to you is, how did you start your mental health journey?
Well, I would say I started off when I was young because my mom, she has depression. So I've known about it for a long time. I've gone to her therapist, which also became my therapist later on in life. But I went to her. I would watch her and listen as she talked to her therapist, or I'll sit and wait in the other room. It's just been a long journey just from that. And then also my grandfather, he had depression as well, and he battled with drug addiction as well, which added to that. And he was a news anchor for NBC4, Jim Vance, and he openly told about his story about when he tried to kill himself, or he thought about it, but thank God he didn't go through with it, but he was open about it maybe like 2014, 15, but really started with my mom when I was young, and then eventually when I got to high school, I just became really emotional, like, because I was kind of outcast. I wasn't that typical high school person that had to follow everybody. Like, I've always been like a skateboarder. I've been doing artistic things all my life. I've loved music. I've loved skating. I've loved drawing. I love movies. Just the aspect of art in general. Just different people. Than just the regular old rap music or pop music. I like rock, and independent artists and things like that. I like to dig for music, finding samples and stuff like that. So it's always been hard for me to, kind of subscribe to the normal things that people in high school were doing. So I was kind of like lonely in a sense. And I also would just kind of be by myself. I would try, have friends and stuff like that. But I didn't really care. Like, I could be by myself because I'm also an only child. So I've been by myself my whole life.
Yeah.
So wasn't that hard. And then so in high school, I kind of became depressed also because of that, because I felt so different. Like, people would be like making fun of me and stuff like that. So then that was like the first time I really felt depressed. And then I knew it. I didn't really know what to call it then, because it was just a feeling. I just like my chest like felt heavy, and I didn't know what it was. Like, I knew that it was sort of because I wanted friends. Like, I wanted to hang out with people at school, but also I didn't care as well because I've been by myself my whole life. Like, that's fine. Like, I like talking to myself. I like to be by myself because I'm quiet. I like to charge myself that way. It gives me more energy.
In high school, did anything kind of make that loneliness worse? Like, was there kind of a moment in time that kind of...
I can think of one.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I've been roller skating and skateboarding since I was about 7. And I would go either to the skate park or to the skating rink like every weekend.
Yeah.
And my friend, one of the first people I met skating, his name was Andrew. And I remember I didn't know him outside of the skating rink when I was in middle school, elementary school, when I first met him. But then he told me right when we were about to go to high school that we were about to go to the same high school.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm going to be happy, like, that's my friend. But then as soon as, like, we got to high school, we started acting different, So I was kind of, like, upset, like, like, why would you, treat me like this? Like, he was trying to be cool and hang out with everybody and, like, be popular.
Yeah, like abandoned you.
Yeah, so that kind of hurt. But, I had other friends, like, I went skating with and seen them outside, and they'll come to my school sometimes and stuff like that. So it was cool. I met some cool people in school as well, and teachers as well. Like I really have some really good teachers that helped me keep going. But then also, even outside of high school, when I started going to college, it was just more so about school and just more real life things like my relationships and stuff like that. And it just kind of got harder, life be life. And
Yeah.
so,
Word.
just gets difficult worrying about your future,
Yeah.
feeling like you're just not gonna make it sometimes, like especially with college. Like I was in college for almost 8 years because I went to PG Community College at first. I was there for almost 2 years, and I finally went to the office, to see if I could switch to like a 4 year college.
Yeah.
And then they told me that basically I took like 7 or 8 classes I didn't need.
Oh.
So I was just depressed. Like, what? Like, I spent all this time, like, and I'm not a student. I don't like school. Like, I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, but I'll do it because I know that it'll get me in a good place
Further, yeah.
eventually. And I did learn stuff. I learned more about art. Like, I understood my assignment when it came to being a videographer and bringing out emotions
Yeah.
and things that I shoot.
Well,
So
then let me ask you this. As you're talking about your journey, when did you start seeing a therapist?
the first time I saw a therapist was when I was maybe 8 or 9.
Was that on your own volition? Were you like,
No.
parents, I need to go see someone? Or?
No, that was from my parents because they divorced and they thought that I was sad, which I was, but I felt like more so I was trying to protect them
Oh,
in that sense when I was younger because I would always ask them like, are they okay?
wow.
I would always see if they're how they feel because it's a hard time, and I was in the middle of everything. I saw everything that was going on.
That's huge for like an 8-year-old, and just like even the awareness to ask your parents if they're okay with everything.
But I also feel like that was like a coping
Mechanism.
mechanism, to like, since I know it's hard for them, it's hard for me too.
Yeah.
But, I still want to, help, like, because I would, that also reminds me that during that time, like, my friends, when they would come over and stuff, and they would ask, like, oh, where's your mom? And I would, I'd lie and be like, oh, she's, like, just out, So I was, like, upset. I was sad.
Yeah.
But I was trying to, protect them and see how, I could help them in that sense. But
Do you feel like you grew up faster when that event occurred? Or did you feel more mature than your peers?
I wouldn't say mature. I would say I kind of understood my feelings a little more. I feel like, in a sense, like I kind of understood. I feel like I processed my feelings better. Plus, I was always by myself, so I literally was
Time
thinking
to think.
all the time. So
Word.
I was literally thinking all the time. So it's just literally, I was just.
All right, so you at 8, you go to therapy because your parents are worried about how the divorce is affecting you. And then how long were you in it at 8?
I don't even remember. I literally did not want to be there.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you did. This was like, I don't need this.
Because it was during the summer. I don't
Oh
remember.
man, took away from
Yeah, like
skating,
I remember.
huh?
But then I wasn't skating as much then. I'll skate on the weekends, but I was really into karate. So I was going to a karate summer camp at that time. And I think I just got my black belt. And it would be after the summer camp when my mom would pick me up. She would take me to the therapist, and they would just be like talking like, I don't even remember. It was just, just the
Yeah.
regular, like, kind of child therapist kind of stuff. Like, oh, point at this. How does this make you feel?
Oh
And stuff like
no.
that. And I was just like, I don't want to be here.
Oh, this is like old timey type of lying on the couch.
Yeah,
with
like, literally, I was on the
shades.
couch, and then they would, like, they try to, like, play games and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I would just go through it, and I'll just go home. But, like,
So then what's the second time you went to therapy?
that was when I was 21. So I just
And that was your own volition. Okay.
and that's also when I started my clothing company as well,
Okay.
because I just got out of a relationship, and it was like the first person that I dated that I felt like made me feel special, and like because like all the people I really dated, I felt like they kind of tried to use me, because I'm nice and I like to be there for people.
Yeah.
So I felt like, you know, the people that I dated before definitely had issues like with parental issues.
Yeah.
So I feel like I kind of like stepped in with that, like emotional wise at least.
So
And
similar
so
to what you did when you were 8. Yeah.
that happened, and we broke up, and I was just really depressed. Like I just felt like like it was all a lie and stuff like that. And I tried to kill myself. I tried to run my car. I was at the stoplight. I was just like, I'm done with this. And I tried to uh, run the red light, and it was a tractor trailer, and I tried to let it like hit me, but he stopped. So I'm just glad that didn't happen. But then I was, like later that day, I was just like, yeah, I gotta go to therapy. So then I told my mom, I was like, I just want to go to therapy, and that's also the day I started my brand, because I knew I was just like, I can't be the only man to feel this way,
Yeah.
and just
Can I ask you a question about that day? What went through your mind when the trailer tractor stopped? Like, do you remember the moment and the thought you had immediately?
I was just shocked. Like, I thought I was gone,
Yeah.
but like it was God. Like I knew it wasn't me. Like, it had to be God, because if it was me, I'd be gone.
Yeah.
I'd be gone.
Were you relieved at all, or were you in shock more so?
More so shocked. I wasn't really thinking about it right then, but like afterwards, I was like, I could have missed out on a lot just from doing that. Because my friend, also in high school, my friend, he killed himself. My friend Kyle, and that's also one of the reasons why I keep skating, because like he was one of the first people I met skating. He was always cool. He was always like just fun, trying to have fun. Skating, like that's one of my things that keep me going and keep me like at peace when I'm doing it. Like it's like a natural high. Like
Yeah.
it's just easy. I ain't got to think about it too much or anything like that. But he's definitely one of the reasons why I keep going, because he was bullied, and then that day he got into an accident, and then he had like a head wrap on, and people were like bullying him about it and like making fun of him and stuff. And then like that day he came home and he shot himself. So like I heard about that, and I was just I was surprised, but also I feel like I kind of saw it after I heard that it happened. I kind of realized why, or like the steps to that, because I feel like it was probably happening for a while. Because I think that Saturday we were at the rink, and he just seemed really off, and I couldn't like understand. He was like real aggressive and like mean, and it was just like it's not natural for him. And then I felt bad. I felt like it was partially my fault, because when somebody's just randomly being rude to you, you kind of be rude back. So I was
Yeah.
rude to him back, kind of, sort of. I had to do it, for him. I have to, do it for me, because, black men, we don't talk about it a lot. Well, or at least our feelings. We don't talk about our feelings a lot, because, a lot of us are like, not even, I feel like it's not even mostly in our families. It's more of an unspoken thing where we don't talk about our feelings in the black community as much. Like we laugh it off, we smoke it off or drink it off, or we sex it off. Like, we don't really talk about it. We mask it with other emotions. We mask it with clothes. We mask it with jewelry. We mask it with status. Like, you don't talk about that time you tried to cut your wrist, or that time you put your gun to your head and thought about killing yourself, but you go and get that Hennessy to make you feel good
Yeah.
when you go to the club. But it's just something that has to happen, something that needs to be talked about more, because it's something that could kill us, not even in the long run, the short run, you know.
Yeah. Did you have any hesitations or fear going to therapy or sharing that you were going to therapy with other black men or other, people in
Um,
your community?
at first, I kind of did, because, well, I would say not necessarily more so afraid, but it was more so like I I did it for myself. Like I wanted it just to be just me getting better. Because at the same time, I was like going to the gym like every day. Like it was, but that wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. I was going to the gym twice a day, every
Oh,
day.
oh my God.
I was doing too much. But it was also because my ex was going to the gym and I was trying to like, show her like, yeah, like I can do this.
Yeah.
So that wasn't good. It wasn't healthy. I wasn't eating right. I was eating nothing. Like I was all depression. But it was still good. Like I learned some things through it, but it was all depression. Like I shouldn't have been doing it. But therapy, I wasn't more so afraid, but more so just focused on just like bettering myself, trying to get over the humps of the way I felt and just the way I was thinking.
Yeah.
So no, but also I kind of was at the same time because I didn't tell my dad for like a long time. I didn't tell him for like almost 8 months because I would go every Saturday in the morning. I'll go to the gym and then I'll go to my therapist. And one time he stopped me. He's like, "Oh, where are you going?" And I'd usually just be like, "Oh, I'm going to the gym." And then I was just like, "I'm going to therapy." And he asked me like, "Why?" I'm just like, "I just don't feel good." And then he's like, "Okay." So I wasn't really scared. It was more so just like my thing. And then eventually I realized, like I'm gonna have to tell my story. I'm gonna have to tell people how I feel, especially if I'm having a mental health clothing brand like I'm
Yeah.
doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, so, I just knew eventually I'm gonna have to tell people like, open up and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to therapy.
Yeah.
I have depression, like I have anxiety, like I need, help. Like you need to get help if you feel like this as well,
Yeah.
because I know I'm not the only person that feels like this. So
To
I
that
feel good.
point, yeah, to that point, you said you started the brand, around the same time you started therapy. Tell us a little bit more about the brand, and what benefits you've seen, not just from going to therapy yourself, but like engaging with it holistically and like making it your life and making it, what you're really passionate about.
So the brand is underrated but undefeated, and it's because it's for me. It's literally me, because like in everything I do, I'm great at it. But I've always had this underlying thought or anxiety in my mind, like that I'm not the great. I'm not great. I'm not doing great. Like people are doing better than me. Like the whole Instagram, social media mindset that a lot of people have nowadays because we see people doing their best work and then we don't see their failures. We don't see the blank canvas at 3 a.m. because they can't think of nothing.
Yeah.
We only see the final product when
Yeah.
people, trillions of people, like it. So I'm always felt like it since I was young, and I wish I didn't. Just feeling like I'm not worthy or feeling like I'm not good enough. So underrated but undefeated is about me knowing that I'm undefeated, but I'm still, underrated by other people or
Yeah.
even myself.
Yeah. That's great. What impact are you hoping to come from the clothing brand, and what impact have you seen thus far?
So I want the brand to eventually be everywhere. I want it to be a mindset. I want it for everybody to just know that you're better than what you think you are. You're better than whoever is doubting you. You're better than that. You're more accomplished than you think you are. You got to think about the small details of the big picture of your life. Every single thing you're not is every single thing that you're going to do is not going to be perfect. We're not perfect beings. We're gonna mess up. We're gonna fail at some point. So I want everybody to just understand that. And what I've seen so far is just all the people, literally when I just say the name, like they get it immediately.
Yeah.
because they just know that's, they felt the same. And just especially black men, because we are supposed to be the breadwinners. We're supposed to be the strong, manly man that protects the family, and we fail at that. Sometimes we fail at having the money to get, have the money for our kids to go to the zoo trip or whatever. Like, having money to get chicken on the table or whatever. Like it's hard. So life is hard, but you got to keep going. You got to keep trying. Just like one of my favorite artists right now, Larry June. He says good job. Like he tells himself good job. Gotta say keep going. Like it's literally just motivation. You just gotta keep going. You gotta keep moving forward. You just gotta keep trying. Like you can't give up. Like I fail all the time, but I'm always like trying. Like you just gotta keep going, trying your best in everything you do. Like don't be upset if something goes wrong or be scared of trying new things. Like I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they stick to the one thing that they know that they get the best praise from, and they don't try anything else because it's just difficult. Sometimes to start off, you get a slow start, you get a slow run. Like I've been doing this in my company for almost 5 years, and I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm still thankful that I'm still doing some things,
Yeah.
growing every day, and people recognizing and understanding what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, part of the reason why I wanted you to come and speak about it. What is or has been your most recent moment in the valley, low point, moment where you felt defeated?
I would say like right now, these last like 6, 7 months has been really hard. My mom's been in the hospital, and it's just been really hard because I'm her only child. So it's just I've been having to take over and do everything for her. So that plus work plus my clothing business plus my production company plus trying to work my way through the film industry and just trying to grow in everything that I do. It's been really hard, but I'm trying to just stay positive and just like not have tunnel vision on the negative and thinking about what's gonna happen in the future, and everything's gets better. Like I'm grateful and thankful that my mom is getting better and she's healing, and I'm just trying to focus on positive. Just
Yeah.
I know that's how she continued through with
Yeah.
everything because I was positive. Like I kept telling her to be positive. I kept telling everybody around me, my family, and everybody to be positive because I know that was the only way she was gonna get better, and just like how the situation was gonna get better.
What would you say to someone who's watching, or maybe even specifically a black man who doesn't necessarily have that emotional connection to himself yet, or is like doing all the things you mentioned, drinking and drugs and sex and all this stuff, but is like hearing this message? What would you say to them, one, and then two, what would you say their next step would be?
I would say for one to just look at yourself, like try to step back mentally in yourself and just meditate and just think about is this making me happy? Is this making my life better? Is this gonna further my life? Is this gonna put positivity into my life? Is this helping somebody else?
That's good.
Just those things. And I would say start writing down, what you think, writing down things that are making you upset or making you anxious or depressed.
Yeah.
Just thinking about like situations, literally like I remember like when I was like in the middle of like really deep depression, I would literally like whenever something made me upset or like have like an anxiety attack or something, I would literally write it down like immediately or like put it in my phone. I used to have it in my phone, and I would just write it down immediately. Like, oh, this made me feel this way,
Yeah.
or like, oh, this person did this and it just made me feel really bad. Like, just stuff like that. Like that helps a lot because then you can look back at it and be like, oh yeah, I remember this. Even though it's gonna be hard, you're gonna like cringe and be anxious again, but you'll master it eventually because that situation, when you look back at it, it'll be probably less than some things that you're going through right now or that
Yeah.
you've been through previously.
That's good. And so like creating that degree of separation from your thoughts and feelings and being able to like see it when you're not in it.
Hmm.
That's really good. That's
Hmm.
really good. All right, as we come close to the end here, any hot takes you want to get
Oh
off your
Lord.
chest here?
Oh Lord. I will say, um, don't be fooled by a lot of um, self-help people and a lot of these YouTubers or Instagram people who are selling these like courses on the how to better yourself, or like especially the financial people, they be capping so badly. Like, I'm not about to get this $100,000 in 2 days. Yeah, I'll say that's like the hot take. Like, I'm tired of the fake scammer people trying to make you give you their money just so you can get like you probably get like $50 in a day or two, and where they're trying to say you can get 100,000 in a week. Like, no.
Not happening.
Mm-mm.
Drew's like, you've been scammed. This
Yep,
is
it's
not
definitely a
the
scam.
way.
It's definitely a scam. Horrible.
Got you. Got you. You heard it here, folks. All right. Any last words to the people? Any last messages? What do you want to leave them with before we close here?
I'll say just stick to what your heart says, and God has a purpose for all of us. He put us on this earth for a reason. There's nothing that he is putting you through that you can't overcome. That's what the Bible says, and I believe that we've all we've all been here for a purpose. We all have a reason to be here, and I'm not saying that's a reason to not try to harm yourself or to end your life, but I'm saying that should be a reason for you to try and better yourself, and equip yourself with the resources for when you feel like that, you have something to reach on to, and think about, like, okay, I have a camera company, I have a flower business, I have people who are looking for me, who care about me, who would be upset if I'm gone, to always reach out. Please reach out to people you love. Reach out to people that care about you and that you care about them. Ask them questions. Like, I feel like you should always ask people questions. Ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help. I've always been, since I was younger, scared to ask for help, but I'm realizing now that's the only way you succeed.
Yeah.
Billionaires have $1 billion teams.
Yeah.
It's not just them. So you always need help. Never be scared to ask for help. And I think that's pretty much it.
Awesome. 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 Thank you very much, Drew.